Hello friends, I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. Today I am bringing you a Kickstarter preview of Lands of Amazement from Button Shy Games. And this is a game in the Scott Almes solo line. I believe it is the 8th game in the line. And I have the other 7 kind of up behind me here. And so I was happy to get another preview copy of this game. I have the other 7 in the series. I really do like Scott Almes' designs and Button Shy Games as a whole for what they are. And if you're unfamiliar with what Button Shy Games are, well, they're 18 card wallet games. Different kinds of games, varieties of themes and playstyles, and player counts all packed into an 18 card little wallet that you can carry with you everywhere. Or if you're lucky enough to get the bag that holds, I believe, 12 to 15 or something like that games too. And so I was happy to receive this. And again, this is a Kickstarter preview. This game is coming soon. I've got an advanced copy. So take that as you will when I give my review and thoughts of the game. I will be impartial, but again, this is a copy I did receive from them ahead of time. So impartiality might be swayed a little bit if you believe that might be the case. Take it with a grain of salt. Also, be advised that these are advanced again, so the components and rules and such may or may not be finalized as you see them when I interlay them in. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and talk about Lands of Amazement and what it is. First of all, it is a solo-only game in the Simply Solo series. I've mentioned that before. I am a solo gamer, so this fits right in for me. But if you are not a solo gamer and you're not interested, then maybe turn this video off now. How do you play Lands of Amazement? Well, it's pretty easy. You have 3 double-sided kind of goal cards. They're called portfolio cards. And the top half is indeed the portfolio that you are going to look at with each round of play. There are 4 rounds, followed by the Mega Park phase or round or whatever you want to call it, which makes up the bottom portion of these goal cards. So you're going to randomly shuffle these up, flip them over because they are dual-sided. So you're going to have 6 total goals in the base game, and that's all I have to work with. I do believe it is coming with some expansions in the Kickstarter. I did seem to be hinted at on Board Game Geek when I was looking at this game. So there might be more goal cards when you get the expansions. But in the base game, there are 3, which gives you 6 different goals. And that also gives you 6 different round objectives. Then you're going to shuffle the other cards, the gameplay cards basically, that are also dual use. They've got a top half and a bottom half, and we'll get into that when we talk more into how the game plays. But you're going to shuffle those up and put 4 into a draw deck, 1 down over the portfolio card right at the top of the round 1, because that's going to keep track of your round scoring. And also it's going to be the first card you have available to you for the Mega Park at the end of the game. The rest of the cards are going to go face up into 3 separate stacks, and this is where you're going to look at the top half of the cards. On the top left, you're going to see a little bit of a design that you are going to try to build. Each of the 3 ones, you're going to attempt to build them as close as possible, but as long as you at least have icons in that layout, you might have more icons than the layout. But if during the round you have all the icons to match the required layout, you will collect all those cards and that card and reveal the next card in that stack. And those will go into a discard pile to be used later. So how do you play the game? Well, the first thing you're going to do is take 1 card off the 4 you set aside, the draw pile, and play it down as a park. And this is where you're going to use the bottom half of those cards. You're going to look at the icons. There are 5 different ones that represent the 5 things you're going to find around amusement parks. Whether they're games, rides, entertainment, food, and I forget what the 5th one is, but there are 5 icons that you're looking at that all are things you're going to find in amusement parks. So you're going to pick one side of the layout to use to start a park. And again, you're trying to match the top left of the 5 or the 3 cards face up in the stack. So once you decide which part of the card you want to use in your park that you're building, you lay it down in front of you, and then you'll take the next card in the draw pile and either add that to a park you already have down in front of you, or start a new park with one of the icon layouts from the bottom left or bottom right of that card. And again, you're trying to lay them in such a way, and you can rearrange the cards. Once you dictate what's going into what park, you can rearrange those cards in that park as needed to try to match those icons. And again, if you lay them out to match or overmatch the icons on the park, you're going to go into the discard pile. However, if you match the design exactly, you're going to be able to activate the top right ability of that card that you just matched the layout of, if you want to. This is optional. It could help you. You might not want to do it. Whatever the case is, you will have that ability available to your use if you can match the design exactly. Once you played through the draw pile and made as many parks as you were able to, and you'll take the discard pile. And this is where you're going to look at the portfolio card and see what icon or icons are wanted for that round. And each round you're going to have more options. From your discard pile, you can reserve one or more cards that have at least one matching icon. So in the first round, you're going to have one icon that you can match. For every card you reserve, you're going to flip it face down on top of that portfolio card, adding to the stack of cards you're going to use to the Mega Park. The rest of these cards you're going to shuffle up and make your new draw pile with. So you don't want to reserve too many cards, because then you wouldn't have a draw pile for the next round. And then you'll repeat the round with the new draw pile, trying to match the parks from the stacks you have, adding more cards to the discard pile, and eventually saving more cards. You'll do this for 4 rounds. Then comes the mega round, the end of the game. And this is where all the points are going to come. And you're trying to not get any points, and I'll explain that here in a minute. But you're going to take all those reserved cards now and go through them and try to build the Mega Park. You're trying to match the design of the Mega Park. And again, this is going to be a bigger design than the small parks were that you're trying to match. And you're going to try to have at least as many icons as the total icons from the portfolio. Once you've put all those cards into your Mega Park and try to equal that design, you'll go to scoring. And again, you want to score low. You want to score 0. If you can match the layout design exactly, you will score 0 points for the layout. If you at least match the design, you'll also score 0 points for the layout. If you cannot match the design, that is, get an icon into every square of the design's layout, then you will earn 2 points. After that, you're going to look at the icons. First, you're going to look at the design icons. Everywhere there's a space in the design that you don't have a space, you'll earn a point. Everywhere you have an icon in your layout that isn't in the space, you'll also earn a point. And then finally, for each of the icons on the portfolios that you didn't have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, however many are in the portfolio total displayed in your Mega Park, you'll also earn a point. So that's all the game is playing those 4 rounds and building up to that Mega Park round. So that's a brief overview of how you play the game. Again, it's solo only, just a little puzzle. Let's go ahead and get into my gizmo thoughts. Starting with G, what do I think is good about the game? Well, first off, the art is spectacular. I don't have with me off the top of my head who did the art. I'll have to put it up there. The artist, I think I pointed the right way. It's probably here. Whatever. Wherever I put it, the artist, I really like the art. It really looks amusement-y. It looks fun, whimsical. The iconography is simple yet easy to figure out what it stands for, and a neat little color palette. So the art on these cards, wonderful. Really invoke the amusement park feel with the art. Also, this game is easy to play. All you're doing is kind of laying those pieces out and matching up the little icons in a little bit of a Tetris game to match icons. And if you can do it perfectly, you'll activate abilities. You'll do that for 4 rounds. And you're only going to play 4, 5-ish cards per round anyway, reserving 1 aside for later use. And then you're doing the same thing to build the Mega Park, keeping in mind all the icons you need to have in your park at the end of the game, trying to match everything exactly to score 0 points, which is the best you can possibly do. And in line with that, another good thing is there are a bunch of unique puzzles because there are 6 different gold cards, more with the expansions, I'm sure, and different icons on all the different cards that you're trying to match. The stack layout are going to be shuffled up differently, and you'll have different cards in your draw pile as well. So there's going to be plenty of variability, or at least as much as you can get out of 18 cards plus expansions if and when you get those. So there's plenty unique things to do, and with all these Button Shy games, they play quick, easy, small footprint as well. So I always appreciate that about all their games. They almost never take up that much room, and their games basically you can play in an airport or even on an airplane with some of them. And that way you can keep your gaming going even while you're traveling. So what do I think needs to improve? First of all, it comes down to this Tetris style game in the end. You're working through those rounds, doing the mini Tetris to get to the point where you're just taking a stack and making the big Tetris. And that's really all the game is. There isn't a whole lot of meat to it, to what you're doing. It is puzzly. It does give you some thought, and it could really slow you down in that last round trying to perfect the Mega Park. But in the end, it is just kind of Tetris, and I feel like you could almost skip the 4 rounds and just draw 5 random cards and have the same game in less time, other than, you know, putting the icons you need into those 5 card pile. That's kind of the game of the first 4 rounds, is make sure you have all the icons you would need for the portfolio. Another improvement is the card layout adds to a bit of the problem or challenge, because really you're only using the bottom left or bottom right part of the card. You can turn it 90 degrees, 180 degrees, however you need to lay it out to match the shapes. That's all fine. And for the mini games, the first 4 rounds, it's not that big of a deal. But when you get to the Mega Park, sometimes the way you need to turn a certain card causes the rest of the card, the unused part of the card that's not even part of the icon square you're using, to cover up the rest of your park that you also need laid out the way it is. And I'm sure this is meant to be part of the challenge, but it really is frustrating. Whereas if I just had, you know, a stack of cards that were the icons that I was using, I should say a stack of tiles, where I was only using the square of icons and I could lay them out and turn them as I needed to, I think it would be a lot more fun than dealing with, I've got the art of the card covering up other cards and icons that I need. So that got a little bit frustrating, and that really added a lot of the challenge to the game, but a lot of the frustration as well. And as always with Button Shy games, there are only 18 cards, so eventually you will kind of see it play out. You will see all the gold cards, you will definitely see all the action cards, and you'll kind of have a feel for what may or may not be available in each stack and in your draw piles. And you could learn to game the game, I won't say quickly, but quicker than obviously a game that's 36 cards. So keep that in mind as well, that, you know, there is only so much to the game because of the nature of the game. So, is it easy to play? Well, decide for yourself based on my description, I guess. But yes, draw a card, play it, line it up, twist it, turn it, match shapes, maybe activate actions, do it again and again and again until you add up some points. Nothing super complex about it all, other than just the Tetris puzzleness of it. Do I want more of it? I enjoy this one enough for what it is, a quick little time filler, and I really do like the theme, as much as it's kind of pasted on. That's what really drew me to wanting to try to get my hands on an advanced copy of this. Is I love amusement parks. I've been going to them all my life. They were my first job, was working at one. So the theme really stood out to me in this one specifically. So for that alone, I'm happy to have it as an option for one of these quick small card Button Shy games. Again, as far as replayability goes, there's only 18 cards plus expansions that will add more to it as, you know, they get added. But it will run its course after a while. But again, like I said, with a lot of these, you can pull it out, play it a couple times pretty quickly, 10, 15 minutes, and then put it away for a while and kind of forget about it, and then it's fresh again the next time you pull it out. And finally, is it original? Well, I mentioned it was the 8th in the line of Scott Alm's solo games from Button Shy, so he's done this before. They're not the same games in any means. Like, they all play different. I really do appreciate that, and the work he puts into not only these games, but all his games. He's designed 2-player games, a bunch of other solo games, you know, big box games, small card games. He's a good designer as far as fun games go. But this is just another in that line. There's been polyomino, and I'm going to call this kind of a polyomino game because you're kind of playing tiles out, even though the tile is attached to a card. In the end, you're laying tiles and matching shapes. So polyomino game. Those have been done before. New York Zoo for one other polyomino game. Patchwork, a very popular, famous one. as well. And so if you want a maybe more thinky polyomino game, check into those. If you want an amusement park style game, you've got Funfair, Unfair, and Wishland. All are card-driven amusement park games that are, bigger box, take a little more time, but have a little more meat to them if you're looking for a more meaty amusement park game. And then finally, if you want to combine the two together, I suppose there's 10 Penny Parks, which I have not played, but I do know it is a polyomino amusement park game, and I'm wanting to check it out. I just haven't yet, so I can't recommend it any more than to say that is a polyomino amusement park game. So let's get into my final thoughts about Lands of Amazement. Well, I'm not going to rate it. I don't rate any of my preview games. I don't think it's fair to the game because it might not be finalized, as I mentioned before, and there's more to come. But from my plays of it, I have enjoyed it. Not as much as some of these other ones, though. And if I ever get around to doing a Simply Solo top 10, maybe I'll wait for 2 more of them to come out, and then we'll top 10 it up. I would put this probably in the middle. I liked the last couple I did recently was Last Lighthouse and A Nice Cuppa more than this one. So that's kind of where it falls as far as the Scott Alms games goes. But it is an enjoyable, fun, easy little game. Again, like I mentioned, that you can take anywhere, play almost anywhere because it doesn't take up much space at all. And it'll give you a thinky little puzzle to kill some time. So from that regard, I think it's worth it, especially once we check out the expansions. And I will be checking those out once the Kickstarter goes live and probably adding them to my collection here and adding that much more to the game. So I will be looking forward to doing that myself. And if you're interested, you should do it as well. So those are my thoughts. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my videos, more of my reviews and previews. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.